Alright guys, it's Jamie again out at Seven Stands Farm, and it is Sunday the 16th. Snowmageddon's here. We've got the winter storm that everybody's been talking about. We probably got around 4 to 5 inches. It's about 1 o'clock, ain't that right? Get my time. 12:30. So it's 12:30 and we've already got about 4 inches or so, maybe a little more, a little less. And today we're here checking on everything. So this video is going to be checking on the animals and showing you the infrastructure that we kind of deployed to keep our animals warm, and give you an explanation why. And hey, see if it's working or not working. Some of it may have worked, some of it might not be working. We'll give you a little bit of explanation on the reason we did it the way we did it. We're going to go ahead and feed our gilt group. We're going to start with them. So I've got my gilt group here. We have 4 gilts, 2 sows, and 2 boars in with them. So we had some calf hutches here. We put out 4 calf hutches for the 8 big hogs, and then also a big round bale of hay as well. Set the buckhorn out here so that we'd have feed on hand. We were afraid that the snow may get deep enough that we couldn't drive in, but just in case we got those 10 to 12 inches, then we would be able to have feed on hand at the actual location and be able to feed easy. I think Mac and Remy here are going to feed for us, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on. The pigs did end up using our calf hutches. There's 4 in that one. There's 2 big ones in here. They've got a bale of hay here if they need it. So those have worked out good. I was kind of worried whether or not they would turn them over, but obviously they haven't. Goodness, girls, goodness. Come on, let me by. We'll get you some feed here in a second, okay? You can see in here they're pretty big. They're about a 3.5 foot wide by about 6 or 7 foot long and about 4 or 5 foot high, so that's done real well. We anchored them down. The way I anchored, they have holes in each corner. A rebar fence post, I drove it in, and now the pigs, I've watched them, they tried to pick it up, and they can pick it up, but they can't get it up over that peg. They just raise it up and it slides back down into place. And then I tried to put them against the trees here, so that if when they go to pushing them back, that they can't just push it away. So as you seen when we came up, they were all in these little huts. Mama and then her 4 little piglets, they're using this one. All right, so you can see the infrastructure that we put in here, and coming up and seeing that everything, there's Remy. Say hey to Remy. That's my grandson Remy. So you can see that everything has worked out. When we pulled up, it was nice and quiet, and every house was full of a big pig somewhere. So I put out hay just in case they wouldn't go in the houses, but obviously they did. We've got our food right here, 1,000 pounds of feed right here on hand. So this 1,000 pounds of feed is just close at hand, and we're able to just scoop a bucket out and take it to them. So we had everything on hand here that they needed, and that way if it got really bad we could walk in and take care of them. So this is our gilt group, our gilt and sow group. You can see here how everything's working out. Kind of see the setup. All right, look at the snow. The only thing's worrying me is the wind's getting up now. Hope we don't lose that power. So we've shown you our gilt and sow group. So let's move on down to our feeder group and see how everything's worked out for them. All right guys, so we said it was moving on down to our feeder group, and that's what we've done here. They are actually, you can see them out kind of foraging, rummaging through the woods. They're kind of over foraging. I don't know if they're foraging or just rummaging through the woods. The first thing we did here, we filled the buckhorn box up and dropped 1,000 pounds of feed in there. So they should be good. So they've got food here 24/7. Let's see if we can get over. Let's see if we can get over here and get a picture of them kind of walking through the snow. Here, we're fortunate on this farm that we have this barn that we can utilize with our does, and this is just our doe herd. We keep our bucks and our does separated until it's time for breeding season. Some of these are due to kid in 1st of April, 1st to mid of April. But what we did here, we put out new straw for bedding. And then we added about 3 or 4 bales, square bales of hay in here. The barn goes back in here. We've got 2 or 3 stalls in there. We just opened everything up. Gives them a nice dry place, a nice place to get in out of the wind. Really all that we need. So let's go up here and check out what we did for feed as well. We utilized the Advantage feeder up here too, and show you kind of how we set up the feeding for them. We have put out a nice round bale of hay here. They need their rumen to work to stay warm. So that bacteria in that rumen is what creates heat, and it's like they have an internal furnace when they have long fibers. So if you could only do one thing, make sure they've got good hay. But also here is our Advantage feeder. It's a 1200 HD, which means it holds 1200 pounds of feed. It's not completely full with 1,200 pounds, but it's got feed in it for them as well to give them a little bit of fat to keep that fat covering as well during this winter and during this storm. So I took this bale of hay and utilized this cedar tree. It's a natural cover. I knew that it wouldn't completely stop the snow from settling on top of the hay, but we thought it would help just a little bit to keep the hay from just being covered in snow like everything else. I think they'll like that second layer of hay a lot better. Get it pulled down. That gives them more of what they like. They don't really like that first actual little kind of wastage part on the front, but when they can get to this, they'll really use it a lot better. We've met all their needs. We met their need for structure to stay warm and dry. We've met their needs for feed with hay and with some of the fat. Everything that we tried to plan for, in my opinion, has worked well. Our hard work has paid off. You know, there's always things that could happen in a storm like this. We hope that nothing else happens. You could always have a tree down on a fence or something, and we'd have to work on that at a different time. But right now, I can go home and I can kick my feet up and I can rest and feel like that the goats and the pigs are safe and well fed and warm. Continue to like and share our videos if you enjoy this content. Hey, as always, we'll do it all again tomorrow, but hopefully it won't be snowing 4 inches the next time you see me.